This is One Fat Boy, and here are my NBA game predictions for February 26th. Tonight there is 7 games. I'll be going over the spreads and over-unders for each of them. For Boston at Detroit, I'll have to go with Boston minus 10.5. So Boston, they should win this game. They're playing very well as of late, one of the hottest teams in the league. And then Detroit, even though they had that win against Cleveland the other day, I think Boston is playing better than Cleveland, as Boston has pretty much their whole entire team with them. And so that means Detroit would really have to show up to even win. And the way Boston has been playing, they should be able to cover a 10.5 spread against one of the bottom tier teams. So, as of course, Boston should win just behind like Tatum and Brown. Like only one of them really has to show up. I will be going over 215, as I really do expect like Boston as a team to play well. As long as like Smart or like who's ever out on the floor for Boston like hits their threes, like it's going to be hard for Detroit to really slow down the Boston offense, as that'll probably be the major force bring this over 215. As I wouldn't be surprised for Boston to have over 120 points, but it'll probably be in that like 115 range, and then Detroit just has to be in like the high 90s, low 100s to bring this over 215. For Toronto at Atlanta, we're going with Atlanta minus 2. This is mostly due to the fact that Toronto played last night, so Atlanta's going to be fresher overall, and I'm sure they want to get a win after their last game against the Bulls, which they lost in a close game. So that means Atlanta's playing well, as Chicago is one of the better teams in the league, and I mean Chicago is one of the better teams, and Toronto is a step below Chicago. So as long as Atlanta just brings the same intensity as they did against the Bulls, that means they should pull out a win against Toronto. As minus 2, that's reasonable spread to cover. It will be going over 222.5, as Toronto's defense will be kind of weak, as be on tired legs, and then Atlanta's offense, I don't expect Trae Young to have 2 bad games shooting in a row, so expect him to have a better game overall. Hence, I'll be leaning for an over for this game. For Memphis at Chicago, so I'm going to lean towards Chicago plus 1. Chicago's been playing well, and Memphis, like they're going to play well, but this is overall just like a toss-up game. It's like, do you expect Memphis to lose 2 games in a row, or do you expect Chicago to clutch out 2 games in a row? If it ends up being a really close game, I expect Chicago to come out with it, but if it does become a blowout, I'd probably just lean towards Memphis. Like winning overall, as I have more energy just trying to get like every single like loose ball, but overall, I think there's just more factors leaning towards the Bulls winning, as there's more control in how the Bulls play. And Morant, he's very like up and down. It's very like high energy. How he plays very fast, so the Bulls can slow that down. Expect the Bulls to win. I will be going under 236. That's the current spread on FanDuel is 236. I expect this become more of a defense game, even though these are 2 offensive teams. Whenever, for some reason, 2 offensive teams have been beating this year, especially when they're towards the higher echelon of the league, ends up being more like a clamped down defensive game. So if anything, there's probably total score probably add up between like 226 and 234. For the Spurs at Miami, we're going with Miami minus 7.5. The Spurs played last night in an overtime game, so that's just a lot of energy expended there. So just expect Miami to really handle the Spurs no problem. Then covering minus 7.5, that's reasonable as well. And they're also playing at Miami, so another boost towards them. Even though Miami did play last night too, they didn't go into overtime, and plus they don't have to travel as far. At least they get to play in front of their fans. I will be going over 224.5, as I expect both defenses to be kind of weak, as they're both on the second night of back-to-backs. So hence why I'm going for an over, and an over 224.5 in that case. For Washington at Cleveland, I expect Cleveland to redeem themselves against the Wizards, as they crumbled against Detroit, and Washington played last night in an overtime game. So that's going to be playing on tired legs, and Cleveland should be able to take advantage of that. Like with how they play defense, Washington's going to have a tough time trying to score the ball. And Cleveland, they just got to Just consistently put the ball in the basket. Doesn't matter from where. Just put pressure on the Wizards. And they should just come out with a win without a problem. We'll be going under 223.5 just because Cleveland has one of the best defenses in the game. Should be able to really hold Washington below their averages for sure. For the Nets at Milwaukee, we went with Milwaukee minus 9.5. So after the loss that the Nets took against Boston, I think Milwaukee should have a similar turn at the Nets. Then also the Bucks haven't played a game yet since the All-Star break, so they should be fresh. If this game is even within like the 9.5, I'd be kind of embarrassed if I'm the Bucks, as this should be easy win. Should be done before the first half is completed, as the Bucks have all their players, or pretty much all of them, while the Nets out. They don't have their main players in, so easy win for the Bucks. If they lose this, that's just straight embarrassing. We'll be going over 234, as the Bucks should be able to score without ease in the entirety of the game. Like, shouldn't be a problem for the Bucks to score at all. For the Kings at the Nuggets, so we get a repeat of this game as of 2 days ago. We get to watch it again tonight, and I expect almost a repeat. Maybe just a better game from Jokic overall, a few more points, a few more rebounds. And then on the Kings side, maybe a few less points from Sabonis, but overall should be a similar style of game. Denver winning, as they're playing in Denver now, so more of an advantage to Denver. They should have figured out the Kings. Maybe the Kings will make some adjustments, but I think overall Denver's a better team. Should be able to take advantage of the Kings. Should be a high-scoring game again, as defense is not what these two teams are known for. So over 235.5. Thank you for watching. As always, give good thoughts towards your picks. And once again, thanks for watching.